Miss Minutes, I want to ask you yourself, how do you feel about what's about to happen with the Doomsday Clock?
I feel great, y'all.
And so why have you abandoned the TVA?
Well, it's not so much abandoned. I've just been out doing all the freaky things I like to do on my spare time.
Welcome back to the Breakroom, y'all. Last week's Loki episode left us with a bunch of prune timelines, but does that mean a full timeline collapse has been avoided? Let us discuss, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jay Washington today, and also joining me is Tom Michelsen.
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy to be back. I was pruned, but I killed Goliath, and now I'm here working at McDonald's part-time. So thanks for having me.
Sometimes you got to get a quarter pounder with cheese.
You do.
And wanting a Big Mac all for himself in the full size and regular size, and a Great McDLT, if you don't remember those, it's Tommy Bechtold.
Hey. Keep the lettuce on the cold side. Cold. That's cool. That's cool. That's the commercial with Jason Alexander from the sorry.
That was a Mac Tonight reference.
Was everyone not born in the 80s? Right. Whoops. Am I Tommy Bechtold or am I just an Alex Berg variant?
Dun, dun, dun.
Or Jordan Morris variant, or any of the 15 people that were on last week's show that have not shown up for today's shift. Listen, if you haven't already been watching all of our Loki coverage, get over to all of our channels, New Rockstars, Breakroom, Deep Dive. Deep Dive probably has nothing about Loki yet, but so skip it. No, I'm just kidding. Eric, I'm just kidding. Watch my Sweet Boys The Thing video, all right? We're doing breakdowns, we're doing Inside Marvels, it's fun. Eric's got a crazy theory that Jack from McDonald's might be young Mobius. By the way, young Mobius coming to CBS this fall.
This fall?
Yeah.
Right after Young Shelton.
Exactly.
Ian Armitage is just like, I can't play young Shelton anymore, then I'll be young Mobius. Eric and Maud are handling Inside Marvel. I'll be joining them.
Somebody can't spell Maud's name in the prompter. I just want you to know.
It's like Moav.
Muad.
And then we also have our smash hit Lingering Question show with myself, Brandon Barrick, and Erica Wusu. Yes. All right, but today we're predicting Doomsday.
Dun, dun, dun.
And guess what? It's not just a three-person show, guys. There's a fourth member of this cast.
Hold on, I didn't sign on for each person.
Yeah.
That's threesome.
Guys?
This becomes a swingers party now more than one.
Fourth member of this cast. And she's been waiting very patiently.
Oh,
Hey, what the-
my gosh.
Yo, y'all can't just be turning. I swear to God, did nobody tell me? Oh my God, there's a spotlight. There's a spotlight.
Oh, man.
Hey, y'all.
And look at that clock.
Miss
6 to
Nan.
midnight. Here we go.
Oh, boy. Talk about it. Talk to him. We should definitely have more women on this channel.
I am all for it. I've been saying this for the long. Why is it so dark with three dudes up here?
Yeah. Look at her.
Wow.
Look at her.
What a beaut.
Wow. Well, boys and lady, miss.
Miss.
I specifically say Ms. because you ain't Mrs.
Not yet.
Mrs. Minutes Bechtold. How close, truly, do we
About to
think
play
we
with
are
all the time.
to the timeline collapsing? How close do we, in the Loki universe, did General Dox's insane behavior and insanely perfect Scottish brogue voice buy us a little time?
All right, let me ask you a question.
Yeah?
So I believe we have a graphic to show the people. Can we show the people the graphic of the timeline before it was pruned?
Yes.
That is the central nervous system, or someone who's having a nervous breakdown, aka me dealing with my relationship issues. Now, let's go to.
Let's get into that. I think let's put the covers back on Miss Minutes.
You know, yeah, are you KJ?
Sweetheart, you want to go back to bed for a minute and we can just let the boys talk?
So now that was before. Now let's see the timeline after Doc's.
I mean, much more organized.
Way much more less cluttered. You notice how some are still broken.
Yeah.
They're not completely gone.
Right,
I think that's an important thing to take.
Are those, you think those are like Nexus beings?
Those are Nexus moments. Those are going to be those little Nexus moments. Because it's not completely pruned.
Okay.
So I think we're close to it, but I think that what we think will stop it, it just won't. I think it's destined to happen.
Yeah.
No matter what. So if I have to go to Miss Minutes, Excuse me.
Okay. Okay.
boy.
Gonna walk to her gently.
I'm gonna move out so we give you some.
I don't know that we've approved of this.
Give you some room here. There you go.
Oh, Jace, are you ready to make your Doomsday prediction?
I was going to say, what I think is going to happen is she's going to be involved in more of this than what we expect. Now, yes, I've gone ahead and put on the deep voice for y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Minutes, I want to ask you yourself, how do you feel about what's about to happen with the Doomsday Clock?
I feel great, y'all.
And so why have you abandoned the TVA?
Well, it's not so much abandoned. I've just been out doing all the freaky things I like to do on my spare time. Hijinks, scrapes, pranks of that nature.
All right, so I just wanted to say that that's what my belief is.
Oh, great. All right. Well, you accidentally tricked our tech team into thinking we were beginning the function of the show.
I didn't think the lights were going to go out.
Well,
When
this
they
is
did,
what
it was
happens
gonna-
when
it
you
was about to
go
be
off
like-
script. No, I'm just kidding. Do you guys think Docs, like I had said, accidentally bought us a little more time?
No, I think she actually made it worse.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say I think she did actually, because like by pruning all those things, that was something I thought they were gonna handle maybe in like Secret Wars or something like that. Have all these timelines and explain all the Foxverse and all the other people coming into the picture.
Right.
But now with only like, as we can see, only like 4 or 5 timelines left. I think maybe it actually did.
I think what she did was, you're not supposed to prune multiples at the same time.
Yeah.
Like they've pruned.
Oh, yeah.
When we've seen in season 1, it's been they pruned something here, they pruned something there. They pruned something here,
Here a
they
prune, there a
something
prune, everywhere a prune.
Yeah.
But this was multiple. And again, I go back to all the different theories of everything of messing with the multiverse, messing with the timelines.
Yeah.
You're pruning all this at the same time. The system can't handle it.
Like setting off all those prune bombs
Yep.
at once.
That
Maybe,
would
rock the
it's
foundation. or
luckily
everything.
that they actually stopped that, because I think if all of those would have went off at once, that would have done way more. Like, we're already in the dire straits, if you will.
Right.
I think if all of those prune bombs would have went off at once, it'd have been worse than what is
Well,
already.
it was a pretty shocking moment. I mean, almost one of the I feel like it was almost akin to like a crime procedural or like a crime drama that you watch where like you realize that people are already dead. Like where it's like there was a shocking amount of erasure from timelines happening, and you're like, oh, this is happening right now. And as you know, we had talked about on the channel. At first, I think Eric, Maud, and even myself were kind of like pretty hard on the episode because of how quickly that happened. And then Eric has to watch this thing like
Because that's something that you would think was for the finale.
yeah,
right?
exactly. It seemed like such a huge event. But then, Eric went back and watched. I went back and rewatched. Maud claims she did. She might have just been following us. No, just kidding. No, Maud went back and rewatched it, and we were all kind of like, oh, no, I think the thing about this show is they don't spoon feed you. They kind of make you, the episode starts in such a disjointed place that you kind of just got to like trust the narrative, the plot to like go, like to not be confused as to why it's happening when it's happening. So, I mean, overall, that episode has grown on me now more. I mean, the series as a whole, I mean, Loki season 1 and the first third of Loki season 2, I think has been pretty fabulous.
Yeah. So hold on, question. I had a question about that because when I was watching it, I was like, wait, everybody who gets pruned goes to the end of time, right?
Yeah.
That's another
And
thing.
so I was thinking, I wonder if they did that on purpose because, maybe it conveniently helped fix the show in terms of having all these less timelines to have to worry about. But maybe come Secret Wars or Deadpool 3 even, now maybe, Deadpool, for example, has to visit just one place and he can see everybody.
I think there's
as opposed to trying to figure out a way to fit in
think
Tobey
there's a bit of
Maguire,
a
a way to fit in
so they basically-
Logan. I think they might have made a situation
They've
where there's...
made it.
Well, that
One
would
stop
make the
shopping.
broken
Yeah.
20th Century Fox sign.
Yeah, maybe that could be there. Yeah.
I think we've got a broken timelet, a
Yes.
clogged timelet, like a clogged toilet. There's just going to be, the void is just going to be like people stacked on people.
Right.
Like, "Ah!" And Elias just like,
Well, Alliance is destroyed, right? I mean, they.
Oh,
killed-
yeah, they came
So
to
there's not
Alliance.
even Alliance. Now they're
not
just
even
chilling.
alive, they're just
now they're just
there.
chilling there.
wait, Elias was enchanted, not destroyed.
Oh,
right?
oh,
So
wait,
I
you're
wonder
right,
if
you're right,
Elias
you're right.
just woke up from that. Hopefully not. I like.
He woke up and was like, oh shit, lunch. Like,
oh my God!
Yeah,
Everyone
buffet time.
ever is edible now.
Yeah.
So here's what we like to do. We all know the Doomsday Clock in the real world, which I think Berg correctly explained is run by the National Association for Concerned Scientists or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
It's It's not like the United States doesn't have a doomsday clock. This is just like a bunch of nerds that want to scare everyone.
That predict that the
Listen,
world will go.
put gas in your car, spray hairspray up in the sky. Who cares? We're not going to be around when this all goes down.
Not our problem.
It's not like there's weird weather all over the country in places where it normally is. No, so we have our own doomsday clock in the form of the finest wine, Miss Minutes. We like to set the time as to how close we think the Loki timeline is to total destruction, to doomsday. Now, last week, no matter how many times our producer Evan explained how we were measuring the unit of time, which is 10 minutes per episode, as there are 6 episodes in Loki. So if you think that the timeline is going to be totally destroyed in episode 3, you would go to, of course,
10:30.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, yeah.
Because that's how.
Why did I say 10:30? I'm sorry, my brain was just screwed.
I legit thought that.
You said 10:30, and I thought you were just messing with me, but no, you'd go to 6 o'clock. That's half the episodes. Right. Halfway through, the timeline's totally destroyed. Obviously, we know it's not destroyed in episodes 1 and 2. So if you put it in those episodes, you're a fool. And guess what? I'm a fool.
Oh, snap. All right. Let's hear it.
My prediction.
Let's hear it then.
Lord have mercy, the light situation is the best thing ever.
If you have sensitivity to lights, just focus on my face and focus on my voice.
Oh, let me move my
I want you all to imagine yourselves going into a deep sleep. 1, 2, 3.
What is this, Lou Rawls?
All right. Everyone knows last week I very famously, to just the popularity and acclaim of the internet, set the doomsday clock at 0. There is no doomsday event happening. This is all just a grand conspiracy by a Kang variant, or he who remains acting from beyond the grave, with the help of Ms. Minutes and even possibly Ms. Ravonna Renslayer, to trick us into believing that all of this stuff is happening. I don't believe a single thing in the TVA is real. I believe that it's all a smoke and mirrors place for Kang to play his conquering games. He has not yet become the universal galactic conqueror that we know he will be, although he has, because he came from the 31st century. But the version that we have in our timeline doesn't exist yet. So I set that clock at 0, and yes, you may say now 1/3 of the way through the show I look like a fool, but I've never been afraid of looking like a fool. I lean into looking like a fool. Some would say my best friends are fools. One of them right now is coming in to show a picture he drew. Anyway, here's what I think. I want to get a little more specific. In episode 3, it does appear we may, through previews and trailers, we're getting close to that Chicago World's Fair, right? Mm-hmm. I think in the Chicago World's Fair, we're going to have a revelation that the TVA was created at the World's Fair as almost an amusement park ride. What is the World's Fair known for? It's a small world, the first Ferris wheel. Attractions, distractions, things that keep you away from reality. And I think this entire creation of the TVA, pulling these variants out, taking these people that were problems, that had these events, that messed up timelines, is all just some kind of massive hallucinatory prison for these people. And I think it's ready for them to break out. And I think what will actually happen in episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6 is basically a massive prison break. Free your mind, and the rest will follow.
Okay,
be colorblind. Don't be so shallow. Yep. All right? I rest my case. Let's talk about my brilliant theory. What was great about it? What was okay? Oreo cookie it for me, guys. What'd you like? What do you think could be worked on?
So for me, I don't know about the entire... We know that the TVA in itself is a facade, if you will.
Yes.
But it has a point.
Okay.
I think the fact that he who remains, his point was to keep the other Kang variants out, right?
So it's a reverse prison.
Right. It's a fortress. It's a fortress. Okay. More so. It's not a prison, it's a fortress. Right. The TVA and the Sacred Time, it protects him.
The Sacred Time is like a moat around the fortress?
Yeah, it's like a moat around the fortress. It's that moat around the castle.
Yeah.
And so I think there are things that are going to happen. I don't think this is just going to be like a giant unplug from the Matrix for everybody. Because we don't even know if the timeline in which they're going to go to at the time period of the World's Fair in Chicago is the main one. We're not 100% sure yet. We assume it is. Right. We assume it's in the sacred timeline, as everything is like, this is the basic timeline, it's where you go. Okay. This is where Renslayer is. And more than likely, yes, that is going to happen, but we don't know for sure. So there could be different things that are still going to happen outside of that. I don't think everything is just going to be this was him just leading the way, just trying to trick everybody to keep everything in power and nothing means. That's my opinion on your.
That's okay. I think that's good. I'm here to be a provocateur. I'm here to ask the questions maybe the rest of the country's afraid to ask. I don't take medicine. I don't drink water.
Or watch the news.
I'm just doing the Chris Farley, Bennett Brower from SNL.
Yeah.
I don't wipe properly.
That's what that smell was?
No, wait, Tommy, question.
Yes.
In your theory, is Victor Timely he who remains?
Yes.
That he's the exact, as opposed to a variant? Okay.
Yes. And he builds the prison as an amusement park ride.
Interesting.
In the World's Fair. We'll see the genesis of it. We will see a little pocket dimension, which is what I think the TVA is.
I think that's really interesting. I hadn't thought about it.
So you think he who remains died and just reincarnated himself with afro, like Frederick Douglass?
No. Oh, interesting. No, I think what they're saying is that he was already born in the past, remember? And he who remains is the million-year-old version of that guy.
What have we talked about? We have multiple characters whose names are
he's just going to come up. Yeah, what he's saying is he will end up defeating all the other Kangs and becoming he who remains. But for now, he's just Victor Timely. Yeah.
I think I like where you're going.
Yeah.
But then it becomes a little bit confusing. Yeah. Because then that can be said about every single Kang variant.
Right.
Who is defeated.
Well, unless if the Conqueror might do things differently, might not even make a sacred timeline, might just, I don't know, all out war, kill everyone. They might be they would do things differently, right?
And I always keep saying this, and I agree with you on that one, but I keep saying this thing too, we all keep forgetting, when we bring up Kang, we bring up Kang the Conqueror, we keep bringing up He Who Remains, and now Victor Timely. We keep forgetting the most diabolical version of him is Immortus.
Immortus, yeah.
We keep forgetting that one like everybody keeps going to Kang the Conqueror, which is cool for everything he's done in the comics, but there is a version of him, a variant of him that is the worst. Right. Like when they
the leader of the Kangs.
And the leader of the Kangs.
Right.
So it's like the resurgence consistently, I don't know how you stop that then.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing is He Who Remains. What he kept saying is like, look, I fought them all back and I pruned them all and I'm the last one. That's why I'm He Who Remains. But there's worse ones than me, including Immortus, including Ramatut, right? And all those guys.
What if he didn't get rid of them? What if he just pushed them back? Because remember, I consider his story as somewhat the unreliable narrator.
Oh, He Remains?
Yes,
that's
most definitely.
Definitely.
You get what I'm saying? He's telling you the story.
His version
of it. So it's not guaranteed that what he said is exactly what has happened. Yeah, I defeated all of them in this great war. I pushed them all back. Maybe he ran. And he was like, no, I'm the last one. I'm remain. Things like that.
Sure.
Those different possibilities. But I get what both of y'all are saying.
Yeah.
He who rekangs. Listen, the point is, my theory is provocative. It may not be right.
I thought about it, but
it's a little bit of fun. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about workplace conduct now. Okay, there is procedure.
Hold on, let me get.
There is procedure.
I've been avoiding
there's protocol. One of the protocols is checking your Slack messages.
I'm not on Slack, so
I'm reading them. I'm not talking about you. I'm not dressing you down. I almost caused a riot today. A nerd riot.
That's any day that ends in Y for Tommy Bechtold.
That's right. Because I had one simple ask from our darling producer, Evan, the light of my life, the moon of my stars, my call, the
Khaleesi to his Khal Drogo.
The call of my duty? What?
No, he's my call. He's my Khal Drogo, and I am his Khaleesi. I am his
booty.
beautiful Khaleesi. Anyway, all he asked was that I wear one of our brand new Fire Loki Nerdriot.shop collection.
Shirts.
And here's the problem.
You don't listen.
I burnt through those shirts in Solvang this weekend to a flame.
That extra day,
Anytime I had to take off and get in casual wear, I was in a Mobius's pie shop, Mobius's jet ski shop. I had my Ms. Minute Salvador Dali shirt on. People were going golly for that Dali shirt. But don't worry. That doesn't mean you can't have these shirts. Everyone drape one over yourself like a tunic.
What's this one?
You've got the Miss Minutes Need Info. Guys, these shirts are based on the Trickster. Yeah, look at her.
Yeah,
look at that smile.
Such a
freckles.
smoke show. Yeah.
I know from one freckled man to a freckled lady. We just belong together. All right, listen. These shirts, we were working with a new designer. They're cool. They remind me of going to Myrtle Beach and buying shirts at the surf shop when I was a kid. The Later Gators is a tie-in to classic Breakroom lore. I would have put Gucci to Moochie, but it didn't make sense to the narrative of the show. It does feel a little bit like Stolen Valor, though. The Brandon got the first shirt. Listen. Point being, one of the most wonderful ways to support our entire new Rockstars network is to buy our merch at nerdriot.shop. It's cool. It's a little more subtle than just, a flat-out Loki Season 2 staff shirt or something like that you might get from the boring folks over at Disney, all right? The exciting folks at nerdriot.shop are getting you the latest and greatest new Rockstars gear, y'all. We need you. Come on over, and don't forget, while you're there, subscribe to our channels, all of our channels in the new Rockstars network. There is, of course, the Breakroom, and then there's New Rockstars and Deep Dive. No, there's New Rockstars and Deep Dive. What, Evan? What?
Really quick, King Wilson 2357 said, hey guys, it's my son's birthday, and I decided to take a break from playing Fortnite to catch some of the live stream. I incorrectly assumed King Wilson was playing Fortnite by themselves and not with their son, but I am now imagining they're playing with
Oh my God, I thought he was just like, hey, it's my son's birthday, and before I can acknowledge him, I have to finish my Fortnite, watch you guys on the break room, and then, and only then, may we cut up a little bit of cake.
Will he get a happy birthday from me?
What do we have the son's name? Do we know?
I don't think we have their son's name.
Okay. Well, what's his name? King
Wilson.
King Wilson.
King Wilson Jr.
To Prince Wilson.
I'm Prince Wilson.
On your special day. Everyone here at the break room said.
Not everybody. Nope.
At least 1/3 of the hosts on the break room.
I will also say a happy birthday.
2/3, a 66% majority.
You got a 66% chance of happening. Yeah. That's 2/3. I'm gonna do Scott Steiner math.
Don't do the Steiner math now. We can't handle it. Listen to me. Happy birthday, Prince Wilson. But remember, heavy is the head that wears the crown. It may seem smart to stab your father in the back and seize the throne, but at the end of the day, if you're not ready to be king, don't do the damn thing. Happy birthday, bud. From all of us.
I was going to say, is while the dad's playing Fortnite, is he watching Game of Thrones, this little kid? Like stabbing
his son is watching. He's like, I identify with this Joffrey.
Yeah, this Joffrey kid's got
He makes
something.
A lot of sense, and I love his taste in wine. All right.
Can't wait to be.
They should. Did anyone ever make an edit of that with that song and Joffrey?
They're gonna now.
Oh,
that'd be great.
All right, well, just tag the idea for Jay. Great, Jay, what's your prediction? Show us how to hold a mic. Show us how to do a prediction. I know the worst part of this show is you got to get up and move if you're in that center seat. Not me. I'll just remain like a witness protection person. When I first saw him, he told me not to worry about it. And I could trust him with his money. I'm in fear for my life every day. I can't go outside anymore. I've stopped exercising. I used to weigh 175 pounds.
Now I'm across this. Now I'm behind the screen weighing 287 pounds.
287 at 100, bud. Let's go.
All I have are Nerd Riot shop shirts that are too small.
Oh my God, my Nerd Riot shop shirts are child's mediums.
All right, first off, giving honor to God, who's the head of my life, pastor, mother, the head of the church. No, this ain't the Source Awards. Oh, I'm sorry.
My God, what happened? I got so scared for a second. I was like, is Jay gonna kill us all?
Yo. NYC, born and raised on the. I'm sorry, wrong show. Got a microphone.
He did just want to hold the microphone.
No, I got to predict. So to go on to tie into what you said and everything, I do think something's going to happen. I think what Docs did, like I stated, caused a lot more drama than good. It looks like from the outside of the TVA, from them looking at the screens, we've pruned these timelines. Yeah. Yes, B-15 and Mobius and what's his name? What's the other dude?
Obi?
No, not Obi. Well, Obi's Casey. They understand that people have died. Yeah. They understand that lives have been lost because it's that being unplugged from the Matrix and you realize what's real. However, they're like, okay, the loss of life, but it seems like the timeline is safe. I don't think it is. And if we're going by 10 minutes, so that's episode 1.
Yes.
This is episode 10 to episode 2.
There you go.
We're going to be here episode 3 with Victor Time.
Wow. I'm just saying 3 very smart individuals struggled with this for an hour last week. So I'm actually, it feels like I'm being condescending to you, but you're just the first person to understand it, and I couldn't be prouder.
I think when we look at what will be the imminent destruction, I think we put the clock at 11:50.
Wow, so episode 5.
By episode 5.
Wow. And thank you for saying 11:50, which is the way that they do it for the real Doomsday Clock. Jay Washington
actually has an education.
Yeah,
hang on, wait. Go back out to the witness protection shot. Jay Washington saved the show that day by correctly identifying how math worked and how time works. We really turned a corner that day on the break room. Little did we know, weeks later, we'd all be dead. Go ahead. I'm just giving him B-roll for the documentary about this channel.
And it's just me looking sad and scared and shit. But I think because again, you have to have Victor Timely, who's already started talking about his theories on time, his belief in time. That's episode 3. Episode 4 is probably when we finally get the introduction of Mobius and Loki seeing him and Loki realizing who he is. We go from there to Ravonna World Slayer. We see that they have their relationship in 3, 4, and leading into 5. 5 is his plan ultimately enacted with the ramifications of the timeline. So you're starting to play all that. That's your penultimate episode. You have to go into your finale of what is Loki season 2 setting up? We think it is Deadpool season. Deadpool 3. We think it's that because it's been rumored, of course, and kind of proven that the TVA will be involved. So now, episode 5 is her more than anything.
Ooh,
it's her.
Speaking my language. I think that theory is sound. I like the idea that. That what happened at the end of episode 2 is not necessarily buying time, but is instead just creating bigger problems in the future.
Right.
It does feel like in order to move an entire massive albatross of a film franchise along, you do have to keep creating problems in the future rather than just being like, let's go button up the past.
Right.
So I like it, Jay. I like your theory.
Because they're only really going in the past. They're not going in the past for Victor Timely. Right. It just happens.
Right.
They just happen to run into him.
Right.
They're going in the past for Ravonna Renslayer.
Right.
They're looking for her.
Right. And we know now from the end of episode 2, Casey finds contact between her tempad, right?
That's right.
So her and Ms. Minutes are at least communicating.
They're communicating with one another.
And no one knows where Ms. Minutes is. Is she shut down? Is she sleeping? Is she over at Belle's castle with Beast and she's just having tea with Cogsworth?
singing songs, having a
Miss Minutes is more sentient than what we know.
Okay.
I think the image we see of the clock is just a physical manifestation of it.
Right.
She's an actual entity, and we're gonna find out how powerful she runs the TVA pretty much.
Yeah.
She is the timekeepers.
So do you think she's like almost like a synthezoid without the suit? Like she has the Jarvis level intelligence?
Yes, I think she is.
Or not the Jarvis,
she's
the Vision
learning,
level.
She's an AI. Because that's what basically Jarvis was AI. She's a
Right.
Jarvis Ultron level minus a body.
You know what I'm wondering? If I can get a close up, how did I get this exact perfect circle stain in this shirt? I thought it was like a droplet of water, but my God, it's absolutely magnificent.
There's also a little one right there. See that one? There's a little moon
Is
orbiting
that
it.
laundry based? At least you know I'm cleaning my clothes. Jay, I like it. I really hope we do. I hope. All kidding aside, the Ms. Minutes lore is robust and plentiful in the next few episodes or the remainder of the season. I think that character is so ridiculous that the fact that it holds power makes it interesting. It's like one of the few things that I really still stir in my coffee these days.
Remember, in the first season, people... Sorry, Tom, real quick. Yeah. First season, people thought she was evil out the gate.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people were like, she's evil.
Right.
And was like, how do you figure? This is like, no, it's just something I write about.
Right. Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I really like what you presented because one of the things I've noticed in the trend is like the penultimate episode is actually where shit really hits the fan, right?
Yep.
And where it really goes down. And like the last one was where they ended up at the end of time.
Yeah.
And they saw the other Loki variants and then they had to fight Goliath. Like that's really cool. And it makes sense that they would, in a weird way, it's almost like the fifth episode of these shows or the penultimate ones, or the ones where they kind of wrap up the story of the show and the finale is more of a springboard for something else. So I like that. Actually, I like what you said there because it makes sense that that's what they would be doing because you're right. They have other things coming down the line that are all multiversal.
Right. You're exactly right because Game of Thrones wrapped up the show and then sprungboard into a pool full of shit in their final episode. Great. Well, We got one more prediction.
All right.
Making his prediction debut on the Doomsday Clock. Give it up for Tom Michelsen! Y'all ready for this?
Y'all ready for this?
Y'all ready for predictions?
I mean, move your arms.
Hold on, let me,
Your arms.
I want to hold the mic correctly, like this, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is the correct way. Hold the mic. Great. Yeah, piggybacking on what Jay was saying, I think I do like where this clock placement is because the penultimate episode is where things would actually happen, and I think that it wouldn't be a multiverse show without the timeline collapsing and falling apart. I think that as far as it goes with the entire thing falling apart, we're actually going to be closer to maybe 0 at midnight. I think.
Oh.
I think they're not going to actually do it in the show in a weird way. It's like because as we know they set up so much stuff that's going to come down the line and everything that's going to be happening in this show almost is going to be just contained within Loki and not spilling out into other stuff. So I think if anything it might be maybe just before midnight because one of the theories I had was
we've got 3 different predictions now, Tom.
Exactly.
Talk about hedging your bets.
Weird that we'd have 3 different people and 3 different predictions, right?
Yes.
So I was thinking that actually what might happen is what would be a fun arc is if Sylvie ended up becoming She Who Remains and takes over the TVA. And so this whole show is bringing her from McDonald's out to be the queen of everything.
Kelvin got a promotion.
And it would be a little bit poetic because they were chasing her. She hates them so much. And if she became in charge of it, she could almost run it how she wants to. Right. But I think then she may not prune everything or she might keep it as is with those limited timelines. And now with her running the TVA like her own little army, maybe then in the next thing we might see her in, whether it's, multiverse, I'm not the Multiverse of Madness, but the Kang Dynasty movie or Secret Wars or in Deadpool 3, then we might get to explore a little bit more of what her TVA will be like. So I don't think everything will explode or break apart because they're going to need someone to run it still when it's done. And I think that's gonna be Sylvie, She Who Remains.
Wow, I like it. Yes. Nice. All right. Well, I think this is pretty interesting. I think it leads to a greater point when you said like wherever we'll see her next. It is kind of like Loki kind of exists outside of the narrative of the rest of. I mean, the rest of the MCU we assume is going to catch up with this since Kang is such a pivotal part. But it's like, yeah, there's going to be movies where they're just like Blade is going to be a movie about a day walking vampire.
Right.
Like they're not going to be like, I got to go check a branch timeline in the middle of Blade. So it's like these movies exist, almost like the way the timelines exist, parallel to each other, or occasionally intersecting in incursions. But I like that theory. I think the idea of having someone take He Who Remains' place is compelling to me. It does feel like for the show to go on, there does need to be a new blank Who Remains.
Right, and just putting on my writer's hat, I think that just Marvel has proven that they're not going to solve everything, they're not going to wrap everything up in a nice bow, kind of like what you said. They're going to leave threads open. They're going to kind of leave it open-ended, and the shows, even though they end, they don't really end. So even if whether it's a season 3 or something else coming out, I think that they'll tie up some of the loose ends. But I think that the TVA is too fun of a concept for them to just kill off. And
I agree.
They need to have either Loki, which I think Brandon had mentioned before, or I think Sylvie would be the ones who's in charge, kind of running it still.
I like it, but I think also my feeling is, my caffeine kick just wore off.
Oh no, we've lost him. He's crashing.
My power levels went.
Get a crash cart in here.
Get a caffeine cart stat. All right. So the TVA isn't real. That's the one thing. It is a very fun concept, but it's not real. So you can get rid of it. Unless Loki is set to be a multi-season show.
Well, quick rebuttal. It's not real. I understand what you mean by that, but we haven't seen yet what happens when millions of timelines merge, and like they've been keeping us from seeing that happening. Maybe when that happens, it'll just go ham, and we actually will need it, and therefore it is a real thing. That being said, I understand what you mean by they created this construct that you didn't necessarily need, but we know already there was a multiversal war. We know already that they had to prune everything to keep things safe. Whether that was the right thing to do, we don't know. But we do know that the multiversal war has happened, will happen again without it. play it. So what its role will be in that? Yeah, that'll determine, I think, right, whether it's real or not. But I know what you mean by like it's just a thing they made up, like or like Victor Timely.
Yeah, it's just it's like does the TVA spill into every future project?
Right.
I mean, leading up until Secret Wars.
Right.
Leading up until because Secret Wars is as Crisis was for DC and all of that's a reset.
Yep, that's gonna be the reset.
That's a reset button. So do you keep it till then? Do you go further than that?
Right. Because if they survive till then, and kind of like what you're saying, when Blade comes out or when Fantastic Four come out, what are they doing in between? Right. Like what would they pruning them timelines that we don't care about?
And the question would be, and I know some people probably in the chat are answering and saying, well, we don't know what they were doing beforehand. Like they've technically been around. Again, TVA we find out the TVA we first are introduced to them per se is at the end of Avengers when they snatch up Loki. You know, after he tries to leave the time, leave through the Tesseract. Right. So I get that, but I think it's just because the TVA is essential to this show. And yes, if Deadpool 3's his world is collapsing, he needs to figure out why. He's in the middle of an incursion, so he needs something to help. In the process, the TVA is involved in that. I can see that. When it comes to Secret Wars, it's a multiversal war. I can see that. But it's like now, what do you need?
Yeah, they need a reason to exist.
Going further
and have a job. And if we're no longer pruning timelines, what's their job?
What's their point?
Yeah.
Well, and if they're no longer putting out episodes, what's our job?
Oh God.
Oh my God, fellas!
Prune ourselves.
Take that Doomsday and turn it into a Doomsday, because we still got 4 more episodes of Loki. We've got a Marvels movie coming out. We've got so much, guys. We'll be eating good forever. That's it for us. Make sure to subscribe to the Breakroom channel on YouTube. Give us a follow on Twitch where we do these videos live as hell.
Yeah.
Follow at Breakroom NR on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter, aka X if you're a weirdo. Jay, where can they find you on social media?
Y'all can find me, for people who've been wondering, Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. Go on Instagram and TikTok. Those are the only places, because I'm on X, Twitter, but I don't like it. So
yeah,
I don't. Like
I'm not proud of what I do on X.
I'm not proud of it anymore. I don't stand by those things I say.
I'm trying to move away from it.
I will say this, though. I love what the guy who owns it is doing. He's a real free thinker. Tom, where can they find you? I know you like him too.
Yeah, you guys can find me at Tom on the Mic on all the things, and including X. For the record, I don't agree with Tommy on that last one, but yes, I am on X for now. For now.
We're all on X for now. That is basically like the ultimate qualifier, that dumbass site. But I don't want to end on a negative note, boys. What a pleasure to get the gang back together. Look at all of us in our hats and our cute shirts. Your Darth Vader bowling shirt. I'm going to do a set of curls, as I always do after I hang out with Jay, and cry into a mirror.
I'm going to scream into that pillow right there.
That's right. Have a great rest of your Monday. Take on this week with the joie de vivre of a young French boy traveling through a town of windmills like I did this week. We love you very much. Laters, Gators.